then we're safe. We're safe and safe to go. You know why? Because we have carbs on carbs on carbs.
On carbs, on
Shout out to
carbs,
Jeff.
on carbs.
Shout out to Jeff. All right. Now, I know you told me not to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Okay.
We're going to give a shout out here.
Yeah, we
And
are.
I'm going to read it exactly how it is, okay?
Okay.
I don't know if this was a true fan or our first troll. Either way, it's an amazing success, and I'm extremely happy because it means we're getting progress. That's the thing. I can't stand these people if you act like this. The people who, Joe Rogan talks about it, who go on their computer, they type, and they just flunk everything because they can't do it, so they're going to just flunk you down.
People watch our show enough that a couple people out there hate us. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, that's great. That's great. But and if this, listen, his name is Religious Donut 469, okay? If this was you and you did a mistake, this isn't harmful to you. But you put, just so amazing. That's the title. I'm not even joking. And it says, it was very funny. I couldn't stop listening. And I said, oh my gosh, thank you, a fan. And I said, wait a minute. And then it gave us 1 star. And I'm sitting,
What in the haberdasheries are you thinking?
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, does he like us or is this a troll? And I thought, well, it's another dedicated fan. Or they didn't know how to use the ranking system, maybe. or maybe just, either way, it's a success. I just wanted to shout out Just Religious Donut 469. If you meant to do 5 stars, yeah, if you meant to do 5 stars, I think you have to click and then drag up to the 5 star.
Who booed us? Who booed us?
That's the person. Oh,
Who booed me?
Minute. We had a booer. Yeah, we got
a booer.
We got our first boo.
You know who you are. I'm gonna name drop you here in a minute.
That's right. It was on the pedophilia one we did.
I got this one.
So, but yeah.
I got the booer. Don't you worry about that.
I'm trying. It's loading a computer. Give me a minute.
We're gonna tag him in the video too.
We got him. We did it. Right.
We got you.
We got you. You can't hide. Okay, you hear us?
There is no way from hiding from us.
He gave us a boo and our first thumbs down.
What's his name?
Oh, did it take it off? Well, let's take a look. See.
We got a tough guy anonymous.
Oh, he
booer
must
out
have.
there.
He must have snuck under the radar.
Oh, okay.
I see how you do it. I got to go into our YouTube studio to find it.
Well, you know what?
This guy's a mastermind. He's a criminal mastermind.
He's smarter than us. He should be writing our show.
No, he shouldn't.
Well, for you, sir, I'd like to give you a boo as well.
A boo.
And a thumbs down. This is me not liking your content.
That's right.
And as soon as we can hack into your mainframe and find your username there, you're screwed.
You're in trouble.
Oh, you're in big trouble,
his
buddy
name's
boy.
That's
That's the bull. You get the horns.
Or just call him Phil. His name's Phil.
His name's Phil?
Just
Phil
says
what?
Phil. I don't know. Just Phil.
Phil what?
I don't know.
Let me
Just
see
Phil.
that. Let me see that.
I'm not gonna show it to you. Just it's Phil Mc. It's not loading. Stupid thing. Oh, just kidding. It is. That was way too long. Either way, but yeah, here it is. 3, 2, 1. The booer. There you go.
Okay.
Now his name. Haha, Mr. Phil McCracken.
Phil McCracken.
You booer. You're like the shusher.
You booed us. We boo you. Boo.
Boo.
Boo. Give him a thumbs down, Chase.
Boo. Oh, my thing fell off. Hold on.
Oh, no. That was going to be perfectly synced and everything.
I promise we're professionals. Boo.
Boo. We give you a thumbs down, sir.
But just kidding. We do appreciate the feedback.
We really do. You know what? Even a bad comment's still a comment. So
That's right. They actually took the time to go over there.
You took time out of your day to hate us.
It's very
Thank
true.
you for thinking of us. You know.
Thank you for keeping us on your mind. You know.
Always in your thoughts and prayers.
Oh yeah.
The Gently Buzzed podcast.
But yeah, I wanted to definitely shout that out because I was like,
well, while we're at it, I've got a little shout out of my own. See.
Oh, shout it.
So my girlfriend Jessica, she made these dope pierogies. Okay, it's like fried dough with mashed potatoes in them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it says a perfect. She used the right level of crisp.
Or super filling
to them. But she's a little camera shy, so I've drawn an accurate representation. My girlfriend, she looks just like this.
Now, if you just
if you see somebody that looks just like this,
it's Jessica.
Her name is Jessica, and she makes the best damn pierogies on this planet.
Now, if you're just
Love you,
listening
babe.
in the audio, it's a very accurate stick figure with glasses. Coot.
I'm gonna fat us off these things, and I don't even care.
But these are delicious. But
They're
today
the new crack.
we were gonna do just kind of a chill episode, but the chill episode turned into the title of this episode, which is "The End Is Nigh."
The end is nigh. Now, we're not saying that the world is going to end tomorrow. Is it? No. Earth's been spinning for forever.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
There ain't no rocket appliance, but, the world's been spinning forever.
Reasonable
Keep
doubt.
on spinning, but... What we're talking about here is... somebody brought to my attention, actually. My sister, Ange. She told me the other day, she said, you guys should start looking into this. Because, a lot of people right now, a lot of pastors believe that, the end times are coming from the book of Revelation. I
And
was
you're like,
no
what?
way.
Oh, it's true. So this all started because, President Donald J. Trump has secured a historic deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates to advance peace and prosperity in the region. Now, that's great because they've always been under constant conflict, right? As long as I've known. And Israel became a sovereign country in 1948, I think.
Very good, yeah.
Okay. So what this means is that it's the end times because it's prophesied in Revelation that is when they'll build the temple again, brick by brick. And then that's a big deal because after you build the temple, then, quickly after, the Antichrist shows up. So, and this wasn't even brought to my attention just because it should have. I have a lot of family who like Trump who have religious posts all the time. Right, so I figured I would have seen it on Facebook, but I haven't. And this was a couple days ago.
Yeah. Of course, it's not getting the media attention it deserves, too. You know how that goes.
Right. I mean, either way, that in itself is a big clear sign to me. And I found it yesterday on TikTok, of all places. But I got lost in the hashtag Christian archives, and there's a bunch of them talking about this treaty. And all the math, all the figures, all the statistics. I mean, there's so much 70 years from this point, 1948. Boom, 70 years from here. And it's just it all...
Yeah.
You follow the path and you go, this is all really falling into place. Bing, bing, bing.
Now, I want to stress this again. We're not saying the Earth is going to end in 7 years or whatever.
Yeah, we're not putting a time on it.
We're just saying that, it definitely appears to be the signs,
Yeah, I mean, it's there. Yeah, there's
signs of the end times. I mean, it talks
It's
about
hard
the
to
Great Plague
debate.
being one of the harbingers, one of the main things that caused one of the first dominoes to tip, I guess.
Yeah, this
Would be what? Earthquakes, hurricanes hitting the world, and
Yep.
Iowa just lost power. Iowa lost power for a while. They got hit by a hurricane. They're in the
That's right.
Midwest. They're pert near in the middle of the world.
That is
And
true.
They got hit by a hurricane?
From way over there.
Yeah.
They're
It
like,
just
it's-
took out Iowa like nobody's safe.
They're like, it's way over there, and here comes the hurricane. But the other thing was, so it was earthquakes, disasters, famine,
plague, which a great illness being
COVID.
spread everywhere. Now the ocean turns to blood or something like that, or something like that.
The river, over there.
The river.
The river will turn to blood.
I don't know how they're gonna swing that.
God will. But
I'm saying I don't know how that's gonna.
well, and so I was watching the videos and I was watching TikTok going through the kind of just what was going on, and a lot of them broke it down very clearly and they gave scriptural statistics, and I watched them. I can't obviously recite them to you because I didn't make them or study any of this stuff. I just watched it. So what I picked up is it goes like this. It goes World War III, or something that horrible happens and everywhere is under war. Okay, everyone has to come together as one, and then they make the one world government, and that's after the temple's been built. So the temple's been built, bad happens like a war, something really big. Then, bing, everybody has to come together, and then you get the one world order or organization, and then there's a person who will take over that one world order. That guy is the Antichrist. Cool? Then, after that dude takes power, he will die, come back to life, and then everybody will believe, other than, kind of Christians, will believe that that guy is Jesus, and then that everybody has to worship him because that's Jesus coming back, right?
Yeah.
That's how the spiel goes. That's how most of that was broken down to. And then weird like stuff started just to happen. Like China banned Christianity over there.
I thought it was been banned for a while.
And it's officially banned.
Officially banned.
Like
it was just kind of like.
Well, you'd be jailed. Like you'd be.
For just no.
Now they kill you.
What?
Yeah, so you could be like
straight kill you.
Yeah, so like you could be jailed or something like that. But now they'll kill you. So that's where we're at over in China. The moment they did that, the sky turned black, and then there's videos of these lightning bolts hitting buildings, and the buildings are just like crumbling, like it's all over. It was insane, and I'm like, so the more these events start to happen, yeah, it's hard not to put the pieces together. I'm not gonna, and again, I don't, like I said, I have a real peace about it because I've got my peace with God and my understanding with Him as well. So I don't freak out. I mean, it was kind of scary at first, like, oh my gosh, I'm 23 in my life. What am I gonna do? But I'm like,
yeah.
But it's more now that you kind of get a grasp. You're like, ooh, it's calm now. It's kind of like, well, if it happens, it happens. Not like I could stop anything.
Yeah. Well, let's look up scripture. What else does there have to be before the dominoes start tipping? Like, I want the names of each dominoes. Show me the Carfax.
There we go. So let's see. We'll look up the Rapture. What do you know about the Rapture? What have you been taught?
Oh,
a lot.
Quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
I know that, the big treaty between for lack of a better term, I don't know what the PC term is, the Arabs and the Jewish people. I know that's one of the big things for sure. When you said that, I was actually brushing my teeth, and I was like,
"Yeah,
you gotta be kidding
I told you." And from the other side of your apartment, you went, "What?"
Yeah, I was brushing my teeth.
You're like that.
Toothbrush in my mouth.
You were like,
I walk out there, and I'm like,
"What?"
Oh man, yeah, I gotta pack my bags. I gotta make sure I got all these crazy socks and woodies with me. Like that's big.
But yeah, so obviously it's a theory from.
There's that, and there's also the two prophets about the wall. Yeah.
About the wall.
There's got to be two prophets that come back to help people that are still left behind after the rapture. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't read.
That's after the rapture. There's
I didn't find
prophets.
But I got this. So I have shared something here. So you guys, I'll see if I can try and put the video on the video over there. But I definitely have saved video. So here we go. This is the breakdown via audio.
The first thing that's going to happen in the end of the world is a world war. So the whole world is going to be at war. And there will be famines and diseases and earthquakes in diverse places. And then out of that war is going to come one world government. So all the governments of the earth will unite together, and they will give all of their power to one man who is known in the Bible as the Antichrist. Now the Antichrist is going to die, and then he's going to come back to life. And when he does that, the whole world will worship him as God in the flesh. The apostate Christians today are being taught to expect Jesus to come back at any moment, but the person who's really coming is the Antichrist. So many of them who are not saved will receive him as the second coming of Christ. And all of the world religions, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, they will all rally around this one man and worship him as their Messiah. Now the Antichrist will make the whole world receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and you will not be able to buy or sell without that mark. The first thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, that was at Jonah Micah 3 on TikTok.
Okay.
So, and there's a lot of those that are just kind of going around, kind of the similar talk, about it. So, yeah, so that's pretty much your breakdown. But just the and the mark, right? I used to think it's like something physical, but no, it could be chip, it could be much other stuff.
COVID-19 right now. There's a website out there. They're calling it like a health data or something.
Yeah.
And they're having they want it to be an insertable chip in your body. That tells people, hey, this is my medical history. I don't have COVID. I don't have any. I don't have AIDS. I don't have any kind of weird diseases out there. And they scan that. It's a real thing right now. You can look it up.
So what is it?
It's like a chip. It's like a health chip. right? And you put it in your hand, and you scan it.
Health chip.
It's something like that, yeah. And it has all your health data preloaded on there, so whenever you go places, you're like, look, see, I'm not infected by the COVID-19.
Medicaid chip amendment? Is that what you're talking about? Chip strategies to protect coverage? I guess it is a real thing. But I was kind of curious how many we've... But anyway, that's the thing. I never thought of it. And, you know, because like you said, you live every day. You live every single day.
Yeah, and people are always saying, oh, the end is nigh. You know, you see the guy with the cardboard sign on the side of the road. You know? Oh,
yeah, that's
the
true.
end is nigh. You know, or Obama ain't the only one that wants change. Give me your change, you know? Or, you know, you just see stuff like that, you know? For any of you homeless listeners out there, that is the best idea for a sign.
That is. I'd be like, okay,
Obama ain't the only one that wants change. Personally, though, I feel like if I were to give money to the homeless, which I typically don't, because, you know, I feel like they're not going to use it right, you know? I don't want to kind of enable them in a way. But if I were to, I'd go for more of the guy actually like the street musician type. Yeah. You know, I want him to be performing some kind of skill, like trying to work for it instead of just begging. I feel like there's more honor in that.
Well, the best example that my dad was awesome for showing me this. I was 12. We were in San Antonio, Texas, and they had like a river walk where it had a river in the middle, boats were going up and down, and it was lined with nice restaurants, and it was really beautiful. But outside one of our restaurants, there was a lady, and I didn't, you know, I was young, 11, 12. I didn't know what like someone on drugs looked like. Meth, heroin, stuff like that. But now you can, the distinct look when you think of someone who's a heroin addict. Imagine that. Skinny, frail, kind of jittery, kind of just didn't know what to do outside the restaurant. And we had leftovers. Exactly. And she was begging for money. Mm-hmm. And then so we was like, here, we don't know if you're going to eat. You want leftovers. She's like, I don't want that. I want money. They're like, you don't want any food? You don't have anything. She's like, no, I want your money. I want money. And then my dad was like, all right, let's go, everybody. Let's go. And we started to walk. She's like, money. She started yelling it. And we were like, whoa. So, yeah, I get that vibe.
Yeah, you can give them food all day long.
Yeah.
But make sure you don't have the receipt in the bag.
Oh, yes. That's a good call. That once everything bad happened to my family. But my uncle got gypped on one of those. So I do this now. So, you know when you go to sign your tip?
Yeah.
Also in San Antonio. So you go to sign your tip. You go sign how much it is. Total it up. Right? Okay. Well, he didn't put any. He didn't think about it. Just put the tip. Put the total. Signed it. It was a good tip. Well, the waitress put extra zeros. So instead of like $8, it was like $800. And he goes, what in the world? Yep. And so there's a whole big dispute down there. She's like, no, you clearly wrote
9 to 5.
Yeah. Oh, she was working overtime that 9 to 5.
Oh, man.
Who knows how many people she did that to that day? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now he'll put, and I do it too now. He'll put dashes on either end. One here for the tip. One here for the total. That way you can't change anything. That way it's like, if you do, you can see everything you've done. Or it's scratched through, you know? But it
was like $8 to $800.
Yeah, it was like,
it wasn't even like 18.
He was like went to lunch.
I've never done this, but if I were to be in there, I'd be like
80.
I think I could swing 18.
$18?
$18.
Yeah, they probably let it go.
That's reasonable to me.
But it was enough. She just put more zeros because that was easier than trying to put it in the front. And I'm like, wow. So it was, both of those were in the same place, and they were both really big eye openers for me as a young kid to kind of watch, like look, learn from the surroundings and things happening. And just like that, I kind of gathered and kept seeing, oh, there's an Israel deal? Isn't there an Israel? Isn't that where the temple is? And then I started to use that same kind of mentality and find these pieces. Then I end up on TikTok of all places.
Yeah.
Which also, remember I said they banned Christianity?
Yeah.
They banned it off the app too for a while. It's like a month ago before we had this dispute about TikTok. There were people who were like preaching and they were taking live video, and then they would end it, cut it, and they would stop their feed and they say it's controversial. You can't play that. And then so they kept doing it.
But hey, you know, little girls dancing, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
In weird clothes.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
making millions off of it, totally fine.
Yeah, you can have that. God forbid you put your religion out there.
Well,
Oh, not even just religion. God forbid you put your Christianity views up there, you know?
Now,
Whatever.
I'm going to sound like Joe Rogan talking about jiu-jitsu right now, okay? Because he always mentions it every episode almost.
Finish
Gotcha.
him.
But I always mention because, like, so she has 79 million followers. She's 16. Charli D'Amelio is dancing. I scrolled all the way to the bottom of her page to see what her house looked like her surroundings in her videos. The progression of her bedroom in the matter of a year or two, because it went from a regular square room with like a little window and like a twin bed, wherever she's from. Now, dude, her
Much
house,
like this?
yeah, like a small room, like a regular size, reasonable room for a teenage girl. Okay,
Yeah.
now it's like her house has like, she was doing one in the kitchen, and when it pans up a little bit, there are like 7 rows of lights with like spaced 3 feet apart. Her kitchen has like 2 long islands. There's obviously where her parents and everybody lives. Okay, and I'm thinking, and I was scrolling through like, does she do any funny stuff? Does she do? Nope. She just has dances. That's her motto. That's how she goes. And again, it was, wholesome, kind of like, let's get my friends together and let's dance and be funny, right? Those were popular, 1 million, 2 million or so. But now the ones where she has her crop tops, or she's like got a new bikini. She's 16, barely, just turned 16, so she was 15. And it's like a small bikini, tight, and is dancing. You know how many? And
right.
it had 80 million like views on it. Like people watch, 80 million people. That's either horny teens or nasty old people who going, oh yeah, watch it over and over again.
Haberdashers.
I mean, I'm still thinking, I'm like, where are your parents? I'm like, I mean, are they just living in this house? Like, yeah, our daughter dances. And then
What could you really say at a point like that? Like, hey, you can't do that TikTok anymore. Fine, Dad, you're grounded.
Well, the dad to her.
She tells her dad, I can see that, you know.
Give me the phone. Give me the phone.
Give me your keys.
Dad, you're cut off.
Yeah, really. Give me your keys, Dad.
You're like,
Man, I can see.
What?
I don't know her. I don't know if she's like that, but
I don't
could
think so.
definitely-
I've seen her talk before. Like, it was before she boomed. Like, she was on Gary Vee, who's a guy who does a lot of motivational talks. Mm-hmm. So he had her on. I remember 4 years ago, right when she was kind of she was already the most popular person on TikTok, basically. And then, then all the deals started to come in. Just the sheer amount of people, 80 million. Just take,
Am I sexy enough for TikTok?
Absolutely not.
Chase, give me a beat. Give me a beat.
Put on the Scottie Pippins.
Give me a beat.
Like just a regular beat?
Yeah, just give me a beat.
Like.
Oh yeah.
This is Gently But Exclusive. Yeah. Oh, look, you've got 5 people who watched it, because you're not a girl in a bikini dancing to a TikTok dance. Wah wah wah.
Everybody hurts.
But it's just the same thing.
Not even perverts want to watch me do that, huh?
Well, and that was another thing too. A lot of the people who were talking about the end times,
Yeah.
they were discussing the pedophilia topic that was coming out. There's signs. There are people who are walking around there. I forgot where it was. Maybe it was not disclosed. But they were walking around and there were signs like taped onto like posted in coffee shops and posted on like telephone poles. And it says, pedophilia is a sex orientation. And it says, come join our weekly meetings or something like that.
Well, they have the NAMBLA. You know that is right.
No.
National Man-Boy Love Association.
Oh.
Yeah, discuss it. Look it up. Real thing. Look it up. NAMBLA.
NAMBLA?
Yeah. If you ever walk by, to any of our viewers, if you ever walk by, see a building that says NAMBLA, it's literally what it is. National Association. Or National Man-Boy Love Association.
NAMBLA?
Yeah. So throw a brick through their window.
North American Man Boy Love Association.
See the symbols on there?
No, I just see a lot of colorful text that looks like kid cartoon.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
Text.
If you see a building like that,
good.
you will have my blessing, and we'll have you on the show via Zoom in or something if you can throw a brick through one of their windows. If you ever see anything like that, that is absolutely disgusting to me.
The group no longer holds regular national meetings. Oh, good. As of the 1990s.
Oh, so they're not national anymore. Now it's just weird. How'd they get a Wikipedia page?
When I was born, 96, an undercover detective discovered there were 1,100 people or more in the organization's roles. Just roles in the organization. NAMBLA was the largest group in the IPCE, which is a list of pedophilia advocacy groups that support child sexual abuse. What is wrong with this? Well, then that ties into your finders.
It does, yeah.
Explain that. You explained. I was kind of getting it, but I was kind of not getting it.
All right, well, it's really hard to, but the CIA did one of their info dumps about a case that has been investigated since the, I want to say, late 50s, early 60s.
And what was that
Correct me
act?
if I'm wrong.
You remember? Freedom of
Information Act.
That's right.
They release information every so often. The CIA does a dump, or you can go on there and request certain information. Well, people all around were wondering what about the finders. Apparently, in the 80s, these people got caught. There were 6 kids playing in Florida, of all places.
Florida
Just
makes sense.
dirty, disgusting kids. So bad that they actually called the police. Again, this is Florida.
What?
There are disgusting kids on a playground that are so gross looking and so mistreated looking that somebody called the cops. In Florida, in Jacksonville, Florida, where they're seeing pterodactyls and they're crazy party people.
And they got alligators everywhere just roaming the streets.
Gators, not alligators.
Gators?
Gators.
Gators. Well, did you ever watch that movie?
Swamp
that
cats.
scary movie, Mama?
Call them swamp cats.
Did you? Did you ever watch that movie, Mama? A horror
I'm sure
film?
I have, but all kind of horror movies blend together a little bit for me. If they're not that original.
It's the two. There's 2 girls, and they're dirty and nasty, and they are raised by a ghost.
Okay. Yeah. I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing they looked that dirty. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they looked that dirty, and they were like,
it was bad enough that they called the police, right?
Right.
And then come to find out, it was the guys claimed to be from Virginia, but their tags were from Virginia. Their license plate was their driver's license was from either Virginia, and they found there was 2 guys in their 20s.
Okay.
With these 6 dirty kids living in a van, pretty much. And then the guy said, "No, we have 2 apartments set up just for people. Like, just full of kids and everything."
Oh.
The government started looking into their transactions, okay? And
they were getting paid?
They were getting paid from China.
Okay.
And several other countries I can't think of right now. Like, I'm not saying China's this way now. This happened like in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
But at the time, they were sending them to, I believe, Iraq. They were sending them all over the UK and China.
Good gracious.
And they were getting paid to do so. Where it gets weird is that it had to be handed off and you know, like, well, why didn't they prosecute these guys? You know, why?
Oh, because it was across state lines.
It was across state lines. But then again, why couldn't anyone do it? It just kind of got like brushed under the rug. So they were investigating these guys since the late 50s. And what was going to tell that phone call in the 90s?
Oh, they were so
like,
they've known about the finders. They've
been having tabs on them since the late 50s, early 60s.
What in
they
the
got
world?
called. They reported the kids, some kids being there in the 90s. Okay. So, and then last year, all the information came out.
Okay.
So why did it take so long to catch a couple of diddlers?
Way to keep us up to date, America.
Yeah, thank you. Why did it take so long to catch a couple of diddlers in a van? And it wasn't just them. Apparently, their parents would join this cult called the Finders. Okay. That's what would happen, okay?
The cult's called the Finders.
They would take the kids. They would give them. They said, "Here you go. Bye. You're not my problem anymore." They would have, they would have sex parties, I guess, something like that. And their goal was to impregnate as many people as they could.
Oh.
And then just, like, sell the kids. Internationally.
Dude.
And then across the globe.
And then when we were watching that documentary or whatever on YouTube,
he was a boring speaker, I'd have more information out there. Not
he,
so.
He had a better resource on there too. But yeah, he said that the CIA, because like you said, they've known about it. That means they had to be tied into it for a long, long time.
It's the way that they had it set up, you know. Why couldn't they release it then?
And it's very easy. When that's he described it perfectly when I was watching One Way.
Yeah.
When you think of the CIA, what do you think? I think of people like spies who kill people for good. But we don't say anything because it's the CIA. They do the funky stuff in the shadows, right? That's from a movie.
Secret agent man.
Yeah, but it keeps us all protected.
Agent man.
And then, like I was talking about the last episode, who do you trust? The CIA? The FBI? What if they're wrapped in it too? It's just...
You trust the big guy down the street with the baseball bat and the guy who cares. That's who you trust. You want vigilantes? That's how you get vigilantes. You keep track of your kids.
You seen that meme that's going around that says, it says I would voluntarily put my vote in or something for pedophiles being hung in the public square or something. Have you seen this?
I think it's a bit gruesome for kids to watch, but they definitely need a harsher treatment than going to jail.
Well, yeah, I'm just
like, well,
I'm just saying that's
jail, great.
And no, that gives me some hope, because it means that no one else is as sick and twisted like that, you know? And when we were talking about this whole topic of the end is nigh, the end is coming, it's coming to get you, right?
Yeah. I don't know, soapbox here.
It made me feel a lot better knowing that we were closer to the end, because then all of this nasty stuff would end. You know what I mean? Like something inside was like, well, even if it is the end, you know, you're good, everyone else that we know no one's this sick and twisted, but they're getting away with it, and if it's sick to us, it's got to be sick to God.
Well, and the Bible also talks, if I'm not mistaken, those too young to kind of grasp the concept will be taken to heaven, because they're too young to comprehend it. So they're taken anyway. So on the bright side, kids are going to heaven.
Right.
No more diddlers. So like that'd be great. That's a positive outcome of this whole thing.
Right.
All kids are gonna go to heaven.
But like I said, I think it was like 12. I've heard 12.
What?
Like 12 and under. That's kind of the age.
I think it varies by person, because you got to also those who cannot grasp the concept. You got to think like people with mental disabilities.
Right.
You know, you got to grasp all that.
Got you. Yeah.
So they're all just going to go in the rapture too, if you follow the Book of Revelation. That's how I interpret it.
That makes sense. But I think because I was trying to determine. I can't remember if it was a pastor or a meeting we had or something, but it was kind of like that's kind of the age where you make those decisions. You can kind of grasp what's going on, kind of get the general concept and idea of what, you know, God is and religion, and kind of tie it all together. But
I think it just depends on the person, really.
Yeah, like you said, that's a better list.
So another sign of the times is what, like a great exposure or whatever of the word, a great like outspread of it.
What?
A great outspread of the word in order to right before the end times.
Yeah, so it also describes the trumpets. The trumpets.
Yeah, that's like right during the rapture, but
that's like you're too late, bub.
Yeah,
that's like you missed the boat.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
last call.
You waited too long.
Yeah.
So,
but how we could see that now is there's not a preacher on every street, you know, typically, but unless you live in Oklahoma, but there. But what we have here is we have internet now. We have Google.
Yep.
There is everything ever recorded, virtually bigger than the Library of Alexandria, which had all the information in the world, and then it got burned down.
Yeah.
But
who burned it? Do you remember?
I believe Nero did.
Burnt the whole thing down. They were like...
He burnt a lot. It was Napoleon. Napoleon burnt down the Library of Alexandria. But now we have it on our phones. So everybody can at least kind of, I guess you could use that as kind of a way to preach. You have all this information available to you. You can look it up. I could see that being how the Word of God could be easily accessible throughout the world. Through internet.
Yep. Well, it's kind of like...
It's everywhere.
Same thing. It's like it says every eye will see.
Yeah.
Like the return. That doesn't mean my eye see. It could be on my phone, on my computer, on the news. We have technology now. like think actively. Someone could record it from their phone live on whatever, and they go, "Oh my gosh, look!" And next thing I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, "Oh my!" So like I said, it's not just kind of like every eye will see in maybe a literal form, but every eye will see when it comes to a phone or technology. So
Yeah.
I fully believe that as well.
I mean, they're probably gonna have people posting on YouTube. People
Oh my
going
goodness,
just disappearing or whatever. However that works.
You're like, people, yeah, dude, that movie. Have you ever heard of Left Behind?
Yeah, I read the books and everything.
I never read them. I watched Left Behind the movie, and I watched The Tribulation Force.
Shout out to my cousin Sierra Lemke, getting me hooked on them books.
Oh man, this library was huge.
Have you never heard of the Library of Alexandria?
I have. I just didn't know it was this big.
You know they built it 3 times now, right? Got burned down twice.
Yeah, they were divided into the following subjects: rhetoric, law, epics, tragedy, comedy, lyrical poetry, history,
It was literally everything
medicine,
they ever wrote.
mathematics.
And then Napoleon's like, well,
natural
you know
science.
what? Well, we don't need no books. That's queer talk. And burn the whole thing. We don't need no damn knowledge. There's that
Is that what
queer
it sounded
talk.
like?
And
That's
burns
what
the whole thing. What a dick.
I'll look that up too. Demetrius
It's a pretty
of
interesting,
Sadiana. Man. Well, it's kind of, it reminds me a lot of, there's also a lot of stuff we don't know about. Like, you know how we don't like the ocean's an easy one? We only know like 5% of the ocean. we actually know and can document 5% of the ocean.
Yeah.
5%. That means the other 70, that's the ocean we have no knowledge about. Okay.
Your math is a little off there, bud.
No, the world's 75% water.
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, the world's 75% water, and only 5 of that 75% we know about.
Okay.
So the other 70% is just off. We don't know.
Well, think about it this way. People are like, oh, we've got books back from the Egyptian times. And I'm like, yeah, wow, that's pretty great. Screw you, Napoleon.
You burnt
You know
it
what
all
the
down.
Egyptians had their knowledge? The Library of Alexandria in a place called, I don't know, Alexandria, Egypt. Then he burned it all down. So what did they know? People think, oh, the Egyptians were here first. Obviously. Like, were they?
Oh,
How did they get their
what?
information? They got it from the Library of Alexandria. I'm just hoping people do what people do. They checked out books, never returned them, and somehow that knowledge is still out there somewhere.
It told me it told me Caesar burnt it down.
Caesar burned it down once, and I think Napoleon did it again. It's been burned down more than once. And then they had to rebuild it.
Oh,
It
joy.
got burned down
So
again.
they're like, we must preserve.
Oh, great. We're finally able to scrape together the rest of the knowledge in the world from overdue books. Let's build another library.
Wrong. So wrong. Well, it's like the oceans. I was using that example, and then towards the desert. So like the desert has winds, so it's sand. It moves all the time.
Yeah.
So there's so much stuff underneath that was there forever ago that is now covered up.
Well, that's how they found the Sphinxes.
Right. So like, who knows how much is underneath there? So like the Dead Sea Scrolls that were contained in the jars, and then it only discovered because the water moved and exposed the cave that it was hidden in.
I'm not sure.
It was something like that, something similar to it was available back then, but it wasn't to us now, and then something changed, whether it was the river or the lake or the ocean, exposing this cave where they had all of these jars and the old ancient text.
I think it's called the Dead Sea because of the pH balance in there. They really made it to where no fish, no creature could sustain life in there. Somebody with the salt and the pH levels were too high for anything to live.
Dang. The Dead Sea Scrolls, ancient Jewish religious manuscripts that were found in the... Yeah. Qumran? Qumran?
Man, I don't know. You're looking at it.
I don't know if that...
I can't read a mispronounced word
in the
in your head.
Judean desert. Okay, there you go, desert. See? Look, you don't know.
I know desert. I know
probably-
the word desert.
There's probably a ton of stuff. So yeah, it was on the shore of the Dead Sea in the West Bank, and it wasn't available before. And then it cleared, and then they walked in. And they go, "Oh my gosh, look at this! Created 408 BC to 1318 CE, which I'm guessing is AD. But There's reviews for it. Like, you've read it, you stupid audience.
I give it a 2 out of 5 stars.
It says 3.6 out of 52.
Who was that guy that booed us earlier?
I'm like, even people.
Who booed us earlier? Is he?
Yeah, Phil McCracken. Is this you?
Yeah, Phil McCracken. Is that you?
Are you on here?
Are you
booing?
giving the Dead Sea Scrolls the ancient text?
Are you okay?
I give it a half a star out of 5. You know, you were the film critic, dude.
I'm like, why would you rate the Dead Sea Scrolls? You can't you can't read them. They're in Hebrew. Like, you think you can read them?
He's got an Uber account under the name One Star No Tip. 1 star no tip. That's his Uber name. 1 star no tip.
1 star no tip. But you guys were amazing and hilarious.
Oh man.
But
I feel like it needed more art in there. You know?
yeah, you're like, yeah, it was
Who
just
talks like this anymore? Was it
some
really
of the
accessible,
pages-
easy to understand?
some of the pages were ripped. You know,
It just didn't look like they took really good care of it, so why should I care about reading it?
you're like, okay, this dude just doesn't know what. It needed more pictures. The pages were ripped. It was just a horrible read. It was really tough.
It had stains on it, you know? Not to be that guy, but it's a little sloppy. You know, how are you going to take care of it?
Do you hear about Tom Hanks's new role?
What, in Greece?
Oh no,
Can
no,
I throw
no.
that out there?
No.
Dude moved to Greece.
He did. Got a citizenship.
You know what's crazy about that? In Greece, pedophilia is not a, hey, you're a pedophile, let's beat your ass. In Greece, it's kind of like, oh, you're a pedophile. Go. We have a club for that.
Let's see. I'm curious about this. I'm gonna look up the Greece and American extradition rights. Mention in place. Greece applies the principle of reciprocity. Okay. Greece does not make extradition conditional on the existence of a treaty. We'll look at that later. But yeah, he's gonna be the dad apparently, of Pinocchio, the maker.
He's a little wooden puppet.
Yep, in the live action movie.
Then they're going to try that and
Gepetto. That's his name. He's gonna be Gepetto.
Allegedly, the pedo plan G-pedo. How about that?
Well, if okay, remember you were talking about.
I said allegedly.
Well,
I
remember
said
when you
allegedly.
said about allegedly? I said allegedly.
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 Okay, I cannot confirm or deny.
Well, what about you were talking about when he was posting the Instagram? It's like, who would go out of their way to do that
Exactly.
to prove they were wrong? And now he takes.
Thank you.
He takes a role named Gepetto during the pedophilia that surrounded his name. It's just remember that thing about the homeless heroin lady who wanted money? Money! I'm putting pieces together. I'm rapping. I'm putting pieces together.
He's
and
folding
I
the
don't like
corners
this
on the
image.
present art. He's folding the corners. He's taping it up. He's looking for the bow, and then he's got it all put together.
It's.
He's
oh
got
my
his
gosh.
duckies, and they're almost in a row, is what Chase is saying. He's putting it together.
I'm putting them together.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
That. Either way. Let's see. Extradition, international cooperation, and cross-border crime. Because what's the stereotype for Greece? Don't they get made fun of for Italy. Italy's drink of wine. We're always drinking wine. Every day of the week, we're drinking wine. Like, that's Italy's thing?
No. I thought Italy just had, like, the good food and I thought Italians were just kind of, like, happy about everything.
Oh, okay, then it must be Greece.
I don't know.
Greece has the wine all the time.
No. France has the wine.
It's really beautiful. Oh.
Greeks have good food. They're hairy, and I think they're really into music. I don't know. You don't hear a lot of Greek stereotypes anymore. You know.
Yeah, I just figured it was the
I have no clue.
Okay, so this is what it says. Greece does not make extradition conditional on the existence of a treaty. If there is no bilateral agreement or convention in place, Greece applies the principle of reciprocity. So I googled reciprocity.
Rashba, who?
The practice of exchanging things with others for mutual benefit, especially privileges granted by one country or organization to another. So wait a minute. So they don't extradite unless there's something in it for them?
That's what I would appear. But Tom Hanks isn't going to go to court over this. It'd have to be a pretty slam dunk case.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, right. I'm just saying. So that's true because a lot of people were saying that, like they were debating. They go, no, Greece has extradition rights, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, I'm curious. I want to know. I'll look it up. And so, like I said, reciprocity, practice of exchanging things with others for mutual benefit. So if I give you this guy, what are you going to give in terms of me that's going to benefit me for giving you?
I don't know. What do Greeks typically want?
I don't know. I thought we would find it with that stereotype. Because I
don't know any stereotype. you don't hear Greek jokes. You know what I mean? I know that they're swarthy. They have a good amount of hair on them. I don't know.
They have a good amount of hair on them.
I know like one partially Greek dude, and he's cool as hell.
Who is it? Not the person, but like how do you? What do you mean?
The Detective A.
Oh yeah,
his family's Greek. He's cool as hell.
Well,
so
see,
I just imagine all Greeks being like that.
I don't like Greek.
I only know the one.
I typed in Greek stereotypes, and it's a cartoon of a large guy with breaking plates, and it says "Opa."
That's the only thing I know. Opa.
That's all, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's the Greek stereotype. No, that's the Greek stereotype. You know, the obvious is like, you know, they have a really beautiful place that they live in. Greece is like absolutely gorgeous, but the people, it says like
weren't they Roman?
Classic stereotype is like they're lazy, they don't care.
I feel like every stereotype throws in the lazy word in there.
You think
all
so?
of them.
All of them. Now that I keep doing this, they just sound more like us. And then stereotype number 2: young Greek people live with their parents.
Why wouldn't they? I mean, if they're 18 and under,
you're really hitting it on the nail here.
Oh man, so specific.
And then stereotype number 3: this just sounds like millennial people in the moment.
Like normal people.
Greek people never pay for anything, and they always make others pay.
See, they say that about every creed.
So so we just have
those guys. They don't pay for anything. You can say it about every
that one got
creed
dark.
has that. So it's like, I don't know. I know one Greek family. They just seem cool as hell.
That's it. Greek people like to party.
The coolest guy.
That's what it is.
Greek people like to party.
Yeah, that's the thing. So they're kind of just in a beautiful location. You know, they have little
party and have a good time.
And they party, have a good time in Greece. Which also is where the pedophilia kicked in.
What?
Well, think about it. They like to party. And then you just said pedophilia is not it's
not really a crime over there. No, not like it is here.
Boom. Because of that same stereotypical view on the thing. So that's when this whole...
way off subject.
Well, you know what I mean. That's just where it goes.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to look up if they had extradition in Greece. And I guess they do for mutual benefit, which is stupid. Because if you have the money to commit a crime and then you have time to run, you just don't get...
Well,
I'm so sorry.
What crime did he commit? They have nothing to pin him on.
Well, I know.
Do they?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, it was like Wolf of Wall Street. He was in trouble here in America, so he left to a foreign country. Remember that scene on the yacht? But then he realized he had money back in the Swiss bank, had to take his boat all the way back to the Swiss bank to try and get it before the Americans pulled it out, and he didn't have any money. So if he didn't care about money, I guess he would have gotten away with it, and just would have been like, okay, I'm broke, I just can't go back to America. So I'm just thinking, I'm like, that's kind of...
Is what he did
weird.
That bad, The Wolf of Wall Street, while we're on the subject?
I mean, I think it is. Like,
what exactly did he do? He manipulated the... He flipped, told people to invest in stocks? Yeah. They did.
Kind of. He did it, he did it like this. So, if I'm you, and this is also why I like to learn and follow investment opportunities and follow what's kind of like how you do it, how you not to do it. So, in the book I was reading about investing, if I tell you, scratch that, if I have an audience somewhere with 20,000 people.
Generally buzzed.
And I tell that audience to go buy this stock because I have confidence they'll buy it. If I have access to early trading, I can buy it cheap. Okay, say 8 a.m.
And then they all buy it.
Right, but I already bought it. I bought it before that. So it just depends. So my boss was talking with me through it too. So like if you have enough influence to sway a market by a big amount, then and you use that to your advantage, same thing. It's like I was watching the movie Nightcrawler. So in the movie Nightcrawler, he manipulates the system to catch a huge massacre. He sets it up because he has kept information. So if I'm the investor and I know insider trading is what they call it, if I know something that no one else knows and I hide it from you and then I trick you all to buy it and lose all your money, but I made 10 times the amount because I knew when to sell, when to buy, then you get in trouble for insider trading.
I don't know if that should be illegal or not.
To
me, it's a sales pitch. To me, I think you just shouldn't listen to this guy if you're going to lose your money.
I get
if
it.
you're going to keep losing your money, don't listen to him. I think that, I don't think he's really hurt anybody that bad. To be honest with you, I don't think that should be like that big of a crime as it is.
Right.
Now, granted, I don't know nothing about stock market.
I think he did 8 to 10 years. But again, he stole millions.
Did he steal it, though? He convinced people to give him millions.
Right. But
that makes him a criminal.
Yeah.
He did what the homeless guy on the streets doing, but better.
Well, I mean, he did. You've seen the movie.
Yeah, I don't understand.
The entire movie was an illegal just orgy, drugs. They would write off all that shit on their taxes. Like there's probably more than just
rock stars
insider
do
trading.
that stuff too.
I get it.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it's a kind of a gray area, but
where's the line? Because salespeople, car company, we'll throw in Chevy, okay?
Right.
They convince millions of people to buy Chevy. What if it craps out? What if you happen to have a bad Chevy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they still make millions. See what I mean? That's what this guy did. He pretty much just like sold himself out.
Actually,
there.
yeah. Let me look it up.
The way I think of it is he got people to buy an idea, right? And I think the way I see it, he told people to buy into a stock that wasn't very good. Then buying it made the stock go up, and then everybody made money. And right. I don't see how that's a bad thing. If anything, he's more of a Robin Hood figure or a really damn good salesman.
He was a damn good salesman, for sure.
Or was he more of like why is that illegal?
They call it the pump and dump schemes. So you're going to pump a stock, raise it up, make them money. Then you're going to dump it. So you sell it when it starts to drop. They say, no, sell this. We're going to take your money, put it into another stock, and it's going to double its growth.
That's a good idea.
And they just kept doing
illegal?
And they just kept, but they knew that's inside. They knew it would never go up. It's going to go up because the sheer amount of money they were putting into it, right? Because they had such a big company. So the more you put in there, the higher it went and the lower it went. And they go, no, we're going to save your losses. We're here to help you.
So he spent 8 to 10 years for doing research instead of taking a calculated risk.
You don't have to do research. You can just pick one. If I found
then how is it insider knowledge
if I had
if
that many people,
picked? You see what I'm saying?
Well, like the company stocks, but it's low stock. You tell all these people to buy it. It goes from $2 to $30 or something crazy, $100 something dollars. You make the profit off the commission, and then the next day,
and then everybody that invested makes a profit too.
No, they don't. They never made any money. So they make money from the commish. Okay, you make no money until you sell the stock, which gives this was before Robinhood. This is before Webull, where you could do it on your phone. This is where you had to have investors. Okay, do it for you. So the moment that stock went through the roof, they cut themselves a fat fucking check. Zing. They took it, and then tomorrow they knew it was going to go straight back down because no one's buying it but them. So they pump it, goes way up through the roof. They're excited, and then it drops, and they make up some excuse. They take the money that's left over from when they sell that stock, which is negative for the person, but positive for the people who receive the commish. And then they just keep tricking them over and over and over because they're a big investment company and it looks official, kind of a thing. Is what it got to me. But
how is that different from gambling?
He's still you're willing to, I guess you're both willing to lose money in the stock market as well. I don't know. But it says he pleaded.
I'm not saying he's a hero or anything. I'm saying I don't see why that is illegal.
Yeah, charged with fraud. Oh, money laundering is a big one. You get in trouble.
How do you even launder money?
Take dirty money and put it into a. My example is from Breaking Bad, where he's in the spa, and he has.
I've seen Ozark, and I still know nothing about laundering money.
Oh, did you watch the whole thing?
I watched it all. I don't get the. I'm not a numbers guy.
So like, if you mix good money with dirty money that isn't tracked already, they mesh together, and it makes it even harder to track. So you're washing. So say every $100 you put 20 of dirty money in. And you just add it to whatever you're charging. So like in Ozark they ran the restaurant. Say someone spent $50 on food and booze, okay? Then you tack on another 50. Say their bill was 100, but they only paid 50, and you take the 50 dirty dollars, you put it back into that pile that you collect at the end of the day, and then that's what they call cooking your books. So you're just adding like my chest, like right here, like my rib cage. But so yeah. Oh wow, just kidding. I said 8 to 10. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison, and personally fined $110 million.
For what? For being a salesman?
For laundering it all, for stealing it.
He didn't steal. I feel like he kind of earned it.
He cost his investors as much as $200 million. Holy crap. Securities fraud. I wonder what that is. But either way. But yeah, no, like I said, it's a weird gray area because so if I have like there's a stock twits is a website where people can post information. Kind of like a Twitter but for stocks. You can go, hey, this is going to go up. You can show things, research, everything you've done. And that doesn't affect your ability to make money if you share that information. So if you know it's already going to do this number, so say you already project it's going to go up $4. You're going to make $4 profit every share you buy. You put 10,000 in, you know you're going to make $4 profit on every share.
Why is having the insider knowledge illegal?
Right, but then if more people who see this post go and they buy the stock and it goes higher, then you made more money.
Then that's a pump and dump.
You see what
I'm getting at here.
I do. It is tricky. I don't know exactly.
I don't see a difference.
Oh, look at us, back from intermission. But yeah, I'll look more to that too. I'll definitely clip this and make it a little investment clippity. But I don't know. Like now you have me thinking. Now I'm like, why don't they get in trouble for doing that?
Why is it illegal?
Yeah, I don't understand. Now
What
I don't
did he
understand
do
either.
that was so bad?
Here we go. I got you.
If people are only investing, buying the stock at like $2, they've lost $2.
Let's just
He made $1.50 of them losing $2. Is that so wrong?
Okay, so insider trading, the definition is the illegal practice of trading on the stock exchange to one's own advantage through having access to confidential information. Okay. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe if you're with the company or you know somebody who's in the company, says, hey, we're about to do this, before anybody else. And then they find out that you got in before anybody else, then you can be caught insider trading. Who's that really?
Why is that illegal, though? You got a tip because you've earned it. You know the guy. You work for him. Why would that be a bad thing? Why is that illegal?
Martha Stewart.
There it is.
She's the one who got caught. I was like, who's that lady?
Did she do anything that bad?
And the crazy thing is she actually went to prison.
Did she do anything worth going to prison for?
Let's see.
I think there's a lot worse things out there that you should be able to go to prison for. Knowing you're not going to make money and getting out of the game seems like a good idea to me. Again, I don't day trade. I don't do anything like that. I just don't see why it's has such ramifications as it does.
Okay, here we go. Stewart claimed to have a pre-existing sell order with her broker when this specific stock went down. So it says Stewart claimed to have a pre-existing sell order with her broker, but it was later revealed that her broker, Peter Backanovich tipped her off that ImClone's stock was going to drop. Stuart eventually resigned as CEO of her own company. Waxall was arrested and sentenced to more than 7 years in prison, fined $4.3 million in 2003. 2004, Stuart and her broker were also found guilty of insider trading. Stuart was sentenced to a minimum of 5 months in prison and fined $30,000.
So
that's messed up because her broker is the one who told her.
Yeah.
The person you're supposed to trust with your money.
Let's say you and I.
It is messed up. What the?
Let's say we're playing a game, right?
Okay.
It's called it's like Russian roulette with a phone book. Okay.
Okay.
And whenever I damn well please, I'll randomly hit you across the face with a phone book. Okay. You don't know when it's gonna happen. If you don't get in the face of the phone book, you're the one hitting me in the face of the phone book. See? But then you see a pattern. Okay. And then you're like, oh crap, I better get out of the way or I'm gonna get hit in the face with a phone book. And then they're like, oh, you know what?
Hey, you.
That's like 20 years in prison.
And you insider
for getting
trader.
out of the way of the phone book hitting you in the face.
You're like, oh. Well, the fact it was that her broker was the person like, oh yeah, I think I might invest my money somewhere. Where do I put it? And then he's the one who told her the advice, and then she got in trouble. That makes no sense. Either way, I
don't see why it's illegal.
See, my investments are very, very easy. They are dividend investment funds. So they make money every quarter, and that money goes right back into that same fund that made me money. Over and over and over and over and over again. Kind of, it's like the safe 401k, other than like government bonds. Because like the back of my book at work has all your investment 401k, and there's like hundreds of just these different things you could do. And one of them, it says, I was like, this one's 100%. I go, I might change mine. And it says like, only if you're late, like really late in your life, if you for sure want your money. Because when you're young and work at a company, they can invest it kind of a lot riskier because you have that time to build it back up. But if you're,
how are they getting their knowledge? Are they inside trading or are they gambling with their money?
It's the company. Like some people go through like Vanguard's a really popular company. That book over there, Little Book of Common Sense Investing, is written by John C. Bogle, who's the guy who invented Vanguard.
Johnny Boggles.
That's right. So he built Vanguard, the company, and that's his whole motto, is invest in like funds,
how are they going to know not to
funds.
lose your money?
Well, it's because
do they just look up dividend funds?
If I have an S&P 500 fund, it changes depending on how successful the company is, but it's the top 500 companies in America. Apple, I think I don't know if Tesla's in there now, but they were going to be in there. Like big companies that make, for sure, granted, giant amounts of money.
Okay.
So the money that gets paid out, their dividend that I was talking about, it gets put into that big fund based on the percentage of the companies in the 500 list. And then it gets paid out to the people who put money into that fund. So like I bought into it. So I get a percentage of all of those companies to pay me money for investing in their companies through that fund.
Okay.
That you can get the same way. So like if I really liked Apple, I bought Apple and I would get their full 5% dividend. So that's super easy. But what they were doing is like, oh, we're going to just throw a dart at a dartboard, pick that stock, tell everybody on this floor, all your customers to do it now, sell it, and then boom, and then pump it, dump it. So I guess that's bad.
Should be bad.
I guess it's bad because maybe, like I said, they didn't have their phones back then. And they had to pay commish regardless, no matter what. So I don't know exactly why it was bad or why. I just know that the whole movie...
Is it wrong morally?
Yes.
How?
Well, because you willingly
He's not stealing from anybody.
Well, you willingly lost all of that money.
He isn't technically stealing from anybody. He's not. He's making something that makes no money, and he's taking it and having it make. He's King Midas touches something, turns it to gold, right?
Only for like a day.
Yeah, only for a day. He's not stealing from anybody. I don't think.
But then that company's just useless. Because it'll be good for a day. They're like,
for a day.
Because then they sell it. Then the company has nothing. Just pump and dump. So they're like, oh great, we have money. Oh, where'd it go? They sold it all immediately. after it tanked the next day. You see
Why
what I mean?
wouldn't you?
So it was just.
That seems like a good way to make money.
It was just
if you ask me.
It would just keep rolling it over. So
It seems like a good way to make money to me.
I'll look more into that because I'm curious
legal
now.
For underage kids to post provocative things on TikTok. That's legal. It's legal for everybody to watch it. Creepy old guys to be like, "Wow, she's so hot."
Yeah.
Oh. but it's illegal to make your own money. In a sense that you tell everybody something is worth more than it is. Then you sell the idea. And then you leave it alone. That's illegal. Taking something with no money, selling a pet rock isn't illegal. Doing that on a larger scale, definitely a federal crime. But you can be creepy on TikTok.
Yes, you can.
And
I
that's
know,
not
I get it.
illegal.
I'm just telling you. That's also
I
why
don't understand.
That's also why it's a good time for Jesus to come back. Our
It's a damn
morals,
good time.
our morals are messed up.
They really are.
We have no direction. We have nowhere to go.
The rioters, the looters, they're
I
turning
wonder
on
if
stuff that
they're-
makes no sense. They're turning on statues of Abe Lincoln to the Emancipation Proclamation. It makes no sense.
Emancipation. Let's see.
My thoughts on the whole stuff like that is,
See. I forgot there was a protest.
you're tearing down things that have helped you. You're tearing down ways to help your community over something that didn't directly happen to you. I think people, to a certain degree, wait for things like that. They kind of jump on the opportunity to wreak havoc.
Also, now I couldn't find it really quick, but there was protests for this whole, Save Our Children movement. There's been a lot. They wanted to protest like they did for the George Floyd and really go out there and
Yeah, see, that's noble.
Right. I get that.
Well, yeah.
I tried to find it on here, but when I was searching earlier yesterday, it kind of matched when I was doing today. I was watching The Social Network, which is the Facebook movie. And in that movie, Jesse Eisenberg portrays, oh my goodness, Zuckerberg. He does him really well in that movie. Zuckerberg's a complete douche. Doesn't care about other people, all him, selfish, narcissistic.
Allegedly, because we both
person.
have personal Facebooks.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? It's not like... Either way. I'm just saying. So in that movie, that's who he's portrayed. And then it shows up, he was on the Epstein Island flight log.
Well, not everybody that went there always went to the sex parties, I've read.
Okay.
However, Bill Gates is on there 40-something times.
Let's see.
You know what they say about that, though? Oh, well, they could not have been having their pedophile parties there. Then you get thinking about he hangs out with pretty much all pedophiles. People around him have been
I was
convicted.
going to say...
He hangs out at pedophile parties. I think that if it walks like a pedophile and it quacks like a pedophile, it's got to be
Quack,
a pedophile.
Mark Zuckerberg once met Jeffrey Epstein at a dinner hosted by LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, and Elon Musk was also there. But yeah, so I was just thinking,
Seems like it could be more of a business meeting.
It brought me.
You see what I mean?
Well, it brought me to think. Yeah, that is. But he was on the flight log, and it brought me to the conclusion like this: if you're that kind of person, and if you haven't seen The Social Network, great movie. Motivates me to get my butt up and start working, work, do something. But the type of person he is matches the personality of what a pedophile would act like. I don't care about people. I can get away with whatever I want. Because in the interviews, he's being sued by all these people because he stole their idea, allegedly. And then they were all upset with him. But no matter what, he doesn't regret any decision, even though he completely screwed over his best friend, everything. Nothing didn't faze him. Just money. You know what I mean? So it was kind of it just matched the same personality that Epstein portrayed in the documentary. I plead the 5th and the 13th. I'm going to get away with it. That shocky, cocky kind of thing. So it didn't surprise me when it popped up on my thing that he was on the log. And I'm like, okay, nice.
I was not saying that every asshole is a pedophile.
I know. It was shocking.
Again, I don't protect them at all. You know, I feel like if you're a pedophile, I'm gonna hit you in the face. That's the way I feel. I think that there's no good parts of, like, that's.
You're screwed.
All men are created equal, except for pedophiles. That's how I feel.
Yep.
But could this be more of a business meeting if he's hanging out, you know, on the flight like once? You know, could it? Because, I mean, Epstein did have his hands in a lot of other businesses.
Right.
He did. You know, he was
I get it.
Well-rounded pedophile, I guess. if there were such a thing, he had many interests. He was a jack of all trades in the pedophile community. How do
I know I keep bringing it up, but we are definitely going to dive in to do another one because we're going to align the stories together and kind of give you a general, like, thought-out picture. We'll give you a timeline of where these dots connect and kind of give you a really good round-off. So that way you know everything that we kind of know, and it's not sporadic, like I'm sporadically shouting out pedophilia stuff.
Yeah,
it's going to be an organized...
The last episode we did over pizza, I'm sorry to interrupt, bro.
You're fine.
But I feel like it was definitely a very tense topic for both of us.
Well, yeah, it was tense. It was our first ever, like, tense one.
Yeah,
We're like...
I don't know if I want to do a second one just because of that energy. I feel like the people need to know, but I feel like when we're looking this stuff up, I can't sleep, dude. I know you can't.
Yeah, me either. I can't. It's horrible.
There's just so much evil in the world. I don't want to be the guy researching the evil in the world.
Yeah.
I want to warn the people, make sure they're safe, but I don't even know if I could do a second one, honestly.
You're right.
That is just so sad, man.
I couldn't even sleep after the Jeffrey Epstein thing.
That
like
stuff is
the movie.
Horrible, dude.
I was like,
horrible.
Well, I guess I'm going to sleep now. And my eyes were just like this. The audio only. They're wide open.
That stuff is sick.
But
and I feel like I lost a little bit of my soul when I started looking up that stuff, to be real with you. That stuff is just dark.
It's dark. But yes, so speaking of dark, the light's coming. The end is nigh. So it's not all bad.
That's what they're saying. And how many pastors agree with that statement?
I don't know, a lot.
Look it up. There's a statistical number. And then look up the signs. I pulled it up the other day.
Believe the rapture is coming. April 7th, 2020. Pastor.
I was like, that can't be the date of the rapture. That already.
No. We missed it. We missed it.
You forgot about us. I was waiting in line. I had my coat on, you know. I packed a lunch and everything, and no rapture.
Okay, here we go. Almost 9 in 10 pastors see at least some current events matching those Jesus said would occur shortly before he returns to earth. So you were right, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. That is a whopping amount.
Yeah, so like here are some signs. Rise of false prophets and fake teachings. Love of many believers growing cold. Traditional morals becoming less accepted.
With
wars,
the TikTok stuff,
wars, national conflict, earthquakes, other natural disasters.
Like Iowa getting hit by a hurricane when they're nowhere near sea or water?
They're like, hey, what's that? They're like,
oh, the water troughs. It's coming out of the water troughs and the sinks. How does that happen? And they're still without power. I make light of this. I make a joke out of it, yeah. But it shouldn't be taken light. There are thousands of Iowans without power. Their places destroyed because of a hurricane
tore through Iowa. You probably didn't hear about it.
How?
Did not.
How did it get that far without affecting the other states nearby?
Hundreds of thousands of Iowa remain without power after rare storm damages thousands. Okay.
That is freaky. Did the storm just like appear in Iowa? It
just shot up. It
off
goes
the coast of Iowa.
It goes, I'm mostly water, but that doesn't mean I need water. And just...
It's like, you know what? I'm going to go across literally every other state in America. I'm going to go the long way. Florida gets hit enough, you know. I'm tired of doing that.
I'm sick of that place. I'm going to go up to Iowa.
It didn't even skip rocks. It didn't even hit 2 states. It just all hit Iowa, right next door.
And then, like, the next one's number of people abandoning their Christian faith. Famine. Anti-Semitism.
Are we running out of food right now?
Toward Jewish people worldwide. We're not. We have pierogies.
There's the coin thing.
Yeah, the coin shortage. So go into a
We ran out
cashless
of toilet
society
paper.
eventually. Yeah, but I don't know. That bugged me too.
I bought a bidet. I planned ahead.
Well, see,
thought it
I
was
still
gonna be
have
worse.
all that toilet paper. Like, I've stocked up. And I've used some toilet paper, but I didn't use near as much toilet paper as I thought I was going to need. Like everybody else did. I'm like, who?
I bought a bidet. You know? Sure. You can go ahead and wipe like a caveman. I poop
You have
like an
a-
astronaut. Every morning I poop
a
like an
Japanese
astronaut.
toilet. You have a Japanese toilet. But yeah, that was the big one. And again, like I said,
You need
if
toilet
all of
paper
this
to the
stuff
caveman,
is,
buy a bidet.
and the minute all of this stuff, if again, like I said, we tied the finders, the CIA, the FBI, to the nasty hashtag Save Our Children, right?
Well,
So
you know what
even-
happened with Save the Children, right? Bill Gates bought that. He bought the rights to that hashtag. So every time people would use Save the Children,
and generate traffic,
he would get paid for it. Look it up. Look it up right now.
Honestly,
It
he
is a real
doesn't-
thing. He bought the rights to it. I don't know how you buy a popular hashtag.
Oh my goodness. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Save the Children receives $50 million grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
There you go.
So they took it and they tried to. Yeah, I guess it's true. 50 million.
Now, why would he do that? Yeah?
But
Think about
how much is he worth? I'm curious. I forget how much.
All right, that's not the thing I'm trying to bring up is why would you do that with that particular thing? Why would you want to be associated with that?
Just to let you know, I'm gonna round this off. I said 50 million, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Even to like celebrities, that's a lot of
50
money.
bucks is a lot of money to me right now, bud.
You know what I mean? That's like
That's
a
a
lot
lot.
of
That's
money. A lot. You know how much he's worth? 113 billion. With a B.
It's like $5 to him.
Yeah, basically. Essentially, it's $5.
But why would he buy it?
I don't know.
See, my theory is that what if he's somehow involved in it? He's like, well, might as well capitalize on it, you know? I mean, he
he's
did
like-
give kids polio again, so why not? Well, he brought back polio. Having a vaccine
What?
for it. You tried to do a vaccine for the COVID thing. And you know what happened? Bam, polio. Polio with the iron lung and everything. Why
There
would
we
you?
go.
I would take COVID over polio.
Okay, dogs. Oh, wait. Well, it says 496,000 children in India paralyzed from Bill Gates' polio vaccine. So from-
Polio's been gone since like the 50s or 40s.
Oh, it says it's fake.
Is it?
Post was shared. The claim is misleading, is what it says.
Oh, I mean, it seems pretty black and white. He's trying to get a polio
You're like,
cure.
well,
that-
we were trying to give up
They
polio.
already have a polio
and,
cure. They've had
now
a polio cure for
500,000
70
people.
years at least.
500,000 people are paralyzed.
I mean, hey, they've only had a polio cure for like 70 years. No big deal. Let me just get a new one. Oh no, I've paralyzed kids in India. Oh well. Be all you can
Okay.
be.
His quote, which is here, Bill Gates declares large public gatherings may not return at all until we have a vaccine that we have gotten out to basically the entire world.
See, I don't like that. Who is he to tell us what to do?
Exactly.
I don't like the cut of his jib. I'm gonna throw that. I do not like the cut of his jib.
Now,
He's a billionaire. He's telling me not to stay inside. I'm gonna do it twice. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna party more than I ever wanted to, in
I am-
large groups of people, hella close together. Just
I
because
got
some
the-
billionaire is telling me I can't do it, because he's now a doctor and knows everything.
that's a million. Okay. Divided by, he's probably got 20 let's just say 30 years left. Okay. Divided by 12. So in order to blow 100, so if you want to deplete 113 million or billion right now, you know how much you have to spend every year for 20 years straight? $330 million.
How much is that a day?
divided by
365.
Over 30?
All right.
So it's about 11 million a month, and you have to spend about 400,000 a day for 20 years straight. Sick, huh?
But now he's a doctor. Now he's the... You can't gather around anymore.
Boo.
Didn't they just find something that works for that?
What?
The COVID thing.
Supposedly. Hello. I like the pierogies.
For those of you that couldn't see her because she refuses to be on camera, that was my girlfriend Jessica. She's the best, and she looks just like this. If you see somebody who looks just like this,
That's Jess.
that's Jessica.
Jess,
Tell
what
her
are
hi.
you doing in here?
Say, make me some pierogies. They're amazing.
My glasses aren't that shape.
Are you insulting my drawing? Is this not exactly what she looks like?
I didn't know she had one big eye, one small eye.
No, her glasses are... She's kind of looking at you like this from the side. You see what I'm saying?
From the side. All right.
It's just not an accurate representation.
We got to conclude because it's getting late. But 3 bullets. Bill Gates paralyzed 500,000 children.
Brought back polio in India.
Brought back polio.
Tom Hanks went back to Greece.
That's right. And the end is nigh.
The end is nigh.
That's
Allegedly.
it. Jess, do you have anything to say? Jess?
My girlfriend makes the best pierogies.
Oh. Well, perfect timing. The
And we didn't pay the power bill. That's one of the signs.
That's right. All right, people. We're out of here. We'll catch you next time.
Later.
Libbity bibbity.